Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, it's been a bit of a while since I did these champion showcases, but we are back, and I'm definitely welcoming every single one of you who wants to submit an awesome champion showcase. This time it is going to be a rank 4 Diablo, courtesy to Relight there. And first, before anything, I would say a huge thank you to Evizone, who have been extremely instrumental and helpful to my channel. Check them out. They are a secure messaging service that's also excellent for file transfers. We are currently already doing a really cool Eternity of Pain community challenge, but there is going to be something new and exciting announced probably later today, so definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, check them out, tap on, try it for free, then enter whatever username you want, email, open an account, and you will be put in touch with me. So let's get to the video itself. So this is going to be rank 4 Diablo against the champion. And he's going to start by activating one of the 3 pre-fights that Diablo has. And that's kind of like the balance thing with Diablo, where you can activate all of the extra abilities if you need them for the fight. But then you do reduce your damage output and increase your ramp-up time. So, you know, in a fight, unless you need that nullify ability for most part, I personally typically just kind of avoid using the pre-fights. Sometimes that energy damage regen can come in handy as well, but yeah, in most fights it's either the pre-fight that lets you nullify when Philosopher's Mix is active, or you just go in without to have like max ramp up early. So he has dropped 2 level 1s, so his poisons now can do max damage, and then in a second we're gonna get to see exactly what that means in this champion fight. Now, obviously the champion fight, unfortunately, in my opinion, unfortunately, is gonna get altered yet again and nerfed with the upcoming update very soon. So we're not gonna get too much time to showcase this current champion, which is already kind of like a reduced level of difficulty to how he originally was. Original champion fight was much less forgiving, but I do believe that Diablo would have been one of the characters to take it on due to his regen, obviously, buff control abilities, and look at that damage. Man, that champion is absolutely melting. So right here at this point, again, he just relaunches his level 2s and gains back power immediately, pretty much, keeps nullifying everything. And here we can see the champion is down to the 10% immediately, basically. 1 level 3 and champion is nuked. Now, there he did get slapped a bit, but it's not a big deal. Again, as we're going to see, Diablo is going to manage to regenerate plenty there. And he has gotten his second and very masterful acquisition of those prowess passives with the dexing there. And at this point, he's actually going for flex points, because instead of dropping a special attack and finishing the fight, he is going to finish it like in a true manner of a Diablo player, just by relying on the poisons without actually throwing a special attack there at the end. So that is quite cool. I actually have a ton of Diablo footage, but in this case we are just going to go to Realm of Legends. But that probably means that I'm going to have to do yet another showcase with Diablo, thanks to the amount of videos that have been submitted. So obviously against Winter Soldier, rank 4 Diablo, Liquid Courage Double Edge active, this is gonna be quick. The entire fight is pretty much gonna be, I think, get to level 3 and the job is more or less done, if you can be aggressive enough, because that is how a lot of these fights finishes. Now, he does throw 2 level 1s first, just to increase his poison potency to the maximum. It doesn't look like he had activated his nullification pre-fight, so level 3 will not give him those 10 buffs to nullify, because that is like another aspect of Diablo. One of the cool things I love about Diablo, you can play him with or without Liquid Courage Double Edge and Mystic Dispersion. Again, in some fights, obviously, it can come really in handy. In some fights, it matters very little that you do not have that mastery active. So Diablo is very versatile in a sense that he kind of works well with many different mastery setups. Obviously, to get the most out of Diablo, you do want to be running Liquid Courage Double Edge and Mystic Dispersion, and then he's going to work in most scenarios, I would say. So here we can see he poses the 16 poisons that are ticking for 6,400 pop, and that Winter Soldier's health is just absolutely evaporating. Now he just needs to get to another level 1, but that wasn't even really necessary there. So that is how one Winter Soldier melts. Let's move on to the next fight. The next fight is going to be Wolverine. So we can skip the build-up process here a bit. We're just gonna go down to the nuke phase, because the nuke phase is obviously so fun every single time. And so let's see. Obviously, poisons, even if you're not running Despair Mastery, reduce the regeneration potency as well. So that's kind of like an inbuilt regen mitigation there for Diablo, which I absolutely love. I want that, you know, to be accessible to as many champions as possible, which is one of the reasons why I always tend to run maxed out Despair Mastery, because it's super helpful in many different scenarios. I think a lot of people still kind of underestimate how good that mastery is. And now we can see that again, there is many thousand poison damage per tick, even though it's kind of hard to see exactly how much it ticks away. I think one of those ticks is there going for 4,000 plus, and then obviously everything else around it. And at this point, the Wolverine just absolutely ticks out. Now we do have an Iron Man Infinity War solo that's actually split in 2 different clips. So we're gonna first start with the initial bit, and then we're gonna watch the finish, because obviously in Abyss of Legends, the hardest thing to deal with Iron Man Infinity War always is the last 15%, which Diablo, as it turns out, is also capable of doing. I actually had never seen personally. I'm not disputing that somebody has done this solo before. I'm not trying to say that at all. But it's just that I had never happened to see one. How Diablo can solo Iron Man Infinity War in Abyss without actually having access to like armor break or something like that. So here we can see that he has 7 of his pre-fights active. And he kind of needs to throw a special attack right here in order to not let Iron Man Infinity War steal all of his power. And he didn't even... I was wondering if this would be better if he had the pre-fight active here. He could have actually activated like not all of the pre-fights, but first 2, I think. Nullify and regenerate back energy damage. And just have a bit slower start, I think. So, not too sure about that. But here you can see that consistently and persistently those poisons are ticking away. Even though Iron Man Infinity War does happen to be stealing all of the power. Because I do think that nullifying that armor buff would be quite useful. Because then you would have to worry less about Iron Man stealing your power. And obviously you could be feeding your Mystic Dispersion as well if you have it active. But still, even without it, apparently, even without it, it still works. And here we can definitely see good old Diablo putting in some work. Now, he's not even bothering to throw special attacks at this point. He's just throwing heavy attacks to get in the poisons. Because, you know, he also gets plenty of regeneration throughout the course of this fight, so he doesn't really have to worry about much chip damage. Now there, unfortunately, he mistimed. But then the rest of the fight is pretty much in kind of similar manner, where this Iron Man Infinity War just keeps ticking it down. It does take a while, without a doubt. Again, I do believe that it would have been quicker if he had activated the nullification. And then he could get rid of that armor buff and maintain his power. But I wanted to show the last 15% as well, because obviously the last 15% is like a very hard thing to deal with, this Iron Man coming in play. But still, through kind of playing very carefully and persistently, spamming your heavy attacks here, and he's managing to get in plenty of heavy attacks. His Mr. Fantastic pre-fights are still active, which he has managed to maintain the entire fight, so that's definitely no easy feat, especially as we can see Iron Man spamming his specials here, and he's going to be spamming the specials for rest of the fight as well. But nonetheless, just you need to take your chances, drop your heavies, and slowly but surely those poisons do add up, even if you just have like 2 or 4 of them active. That is still quite a bit of damage. Every single second ticking away from that Iron Man. Now, this final bit does last for... it's actually not that long, I think. Final bit is not going too bad. He still has 44 hits on his combo meter. Ooh, or does he get wrecked here at 5%? I actually haven't seen this till the very end. Does he win this? Or nope, he gets wrecked. He gets wrecked. Close enough. We're going to go with close enough. Still an excellent fight. Now we have a Labyrinth of Legends, and this is going to be utilizing the Kingpin synergy, which is actually one of the coolest things because there are hardly any champions that can inflict passive poisons to the opponent. And that's one of the cooler things because then Diablo obviously is able to bypass all of the plethora of champions that are capable of shrugging off debuffs, be that Kingpin itself, ironically, who gives him this synergy, or be that Mole Man, or, well, the rest of the Purifying champion class. And here we can see that he goes completely unobstructed in this fight, basically. Did he have a pre-fight active in this one? I'm not too sure, but I don't think he did. He probably didn't really need it aside from that level 3 spam. And again, one of the cooler things about Diablo that I absolutely love is that regeneration when you are running Liquid Courage Double Edge. That's kind of like one of my pet peeves with Diablo as well, unfortunately, is because you do feel like you're playing with slightly underpowered version of Diablo when you're running him in Battlegrounds, and obviously he's still an absolute machine in Battlegrounds. Definitely one of the offensive MVPs, but without Liquid Courage Double Edge, you do feel like you're playing a bit more toothless version of the champion, if that makes sense. It's kind of like with Ghost, where, you know, the attack increase on paper doesn't look so huge, but also with Ghost, because you do get those double furies from the get-go, and through guaranteed crits, there's quite huge difference in the damage. And with Diablo, the difference can amass as well quite a bit by the increase of that attack. What happened there? I'm not entirely sure, but let's get to the next one. So this is a King Groot boss, I believe. And they actually do have still so many clips. There is a Dormammu clip, Ebony Maw clip, Mordor clip, Havoc boss. Jeez. So we're gonna have to keep the rest of the clips, I think, for the second showcase that I will be posting later this week, if you guys are up for it. But here we go. Definitely Diablo putting in work here already against that King Groot. 5 poisons active, not a problem. King Groot has 6 furies, so he's gonna throw his level 1 here and obviously start feeding his Mystic Dispersion by nullifying those furies. And it's kind of like a perfect matchup here. In Battlegrounds as well, I have seen Diablo completely eat up that King Groot. One of the better counters for King Groot, I think, in Battlegrounds, because you just completely nullify all the regeneration abilities, and then on top of that, just feed from all of those furies expiring or being nullified. And here, after this level 3, there's going to be absolutely nothing left over standing from that King Groot. You can see that even though you get hit by that level 2, get a poison, which doesn't do any damage to Diablo, King Groot goes completely down. Okay, let's show one more then. Let's show one more so I know exactly where I stopped, and I can have an easier time finding the clips for the next fight. So here he's taking the Dormammu degeneration, not the biggest deal. And keep in mind that Dormammu is poison immune. So this isn't necessarily... oh, the degeneration was from Aspect of Nightmares, seemingly? Something like that. But keeping in mind that Dormammu is poison immune, this is definitely not a great matchup for Diablo here. But thinking that regen can work very well to offset the degeneration that he's periodically going to be getting. And then it's just going to take a while to get Dormammu down, but that's about it. The rest of it should be perfectly fine. So he's taking some more degen here as well, and some claps to the face. Why not? And that is a fairly chunky Dormammu. Interesting. Interesting. So far from Diablo's comfort zone. Now he's going to go for level 3. That is going to do no damage, but still it activates the Philosopher's Mix. And that, yeah, Regen's definitely coming in clutch a bit. He's going to drink it fully, so he activates yet another avenue of regeneration. He was regening there 250 per tick. So even after eating that many degens, the man is still at 83%. So this is clearly a showcase of how potent Diablo's regeneration can be. And obviously, in a matchup where, you know, majority of the people wouldn't think of using Diablo, still pulls through. We're not going to say that Diablo is definitely the best Dormammu counter, but I think just the showcase of this regeneration ability is quite good, because I think his ambition here is to finish on 100% health as well, which he is going to succeed in. Nice, neat 100%. So that obviously is one of the power aspects of Diablo, that seemingly infinite regeneration. To lose with Diablo, you either need to eat a very, very big hit or get hit a lot. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase. I know I certainly did. And as I said, I have enough clips to do another showcase, I believe. So you have that to look forward to. And yet again, do not forget to check out Evizone and our Eternity of Pain contest. There will be links to all of the relevant stuff in the video description. But if you think you're very good at this game and you want to win $100, here's your chance. Either way, I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about